So after this, everybody, Nick just found this article. We will be going here. Daisy Ridley to reprise role as Rey in new Star Wars film. I hate to say it, guys, but it looks like they're trying to kill Star Wars.
Let's see how far into the trash we can get this thing.
For Star Wars Celebration, how is it?
You guys heard about Mangold and the rest of it. They brought Daisy Ridley out on stage, no surprise. She's going to be rebuilding the Jedi Order in the Miss Marvel's directed film. But there were no details, no time frame, no. It sounded like it was all just in the idea phases to me, and that they brought out these 3 directors just to prove they actually have directors.
So they brought all 3 directors out to announce the movies.
Yeah, but they only, Kathy was like, just give a brief overview of what the movie is about. So each director spoke a little bit, and Filoni was like, he's like, well, I'm just happy I get to make a movie. He said, this is just cool, and I'm like, and he didn't say.
So which one's doing the Rey movie?
The Marvel's director is doing the Rey movie.
The Amawagu.
Yeah, I don't know how to say her name.
Her last name's Chinoy.
That's her.
So they're in the world between worlds here.
Yeah, I just noticed that. And he's saying, "You are not going to stop the sequel trilogy from happening. I'm going to stop you."
Yeah, so this
Palpatine will live, and so will Rey.
This appears to be some kind of an excavation site.
Oh God, Dick, you have to clip that. That has to be a short.
Yeah,
you will not stop the world between worlds. The sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
that is the funniest thing I have ever heard in my life, dude.
That is good.
That was so good.
That's literally what I'm waiting for him to say. You will not stop the sequel trilogy from being making. It is happening, and I will stop you from changing the timelines.
You will not take away Rian Johnson's movie.
Yeah. Oh. Luke will still be a old hermit crab on the island.
Oh my
Han will still die like a bitch.
Oh my God.
We have to prepare for the worst.
Perhaps
think about the world between worlds now. The droid just told it. That's a message.
It is time to begin.
Yeah. Coach is being funny. I can totally see some of the YouTubers out there.
It means they're retconning the sequels, everyone.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it says it right there in the trailer. It's time to begin again. They're starting over.
Hey, look who is here at Echo Base Network. First time he's ever been here. First time I've ever been able to hang out with him, but I am a fan of his channel. He has to suffer with Nick, just like me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. H.
Yeah. Hey.
What's up, man?
What's up,
Let's
Nate?
go.
This is the best news coming out of Star Wars Celebration.
Oh
yes.
I saw your comment. We were making fun of it earlier. All the people that the Acolyte's not happening. There is no Rey movie coming. There's no
they're
money.
resetting. They're resetting.
Yeah, they're resetting. There's no money in the sequel trilogy.
Oh my God!
I was like, oh well, there you have it. It is official.
So.
I will say this, right? Loads of people rag on Mangold because of the Indiana Jones stuff. One, no one's seen that movie, so just wait. Because Mangold's other films are fantastic. He's a very
Ford vs Ferrari
director.
Was good.
310 to Yuma, Logan.
Yep.
He's a very good director. If he's given control of it, I would say that his film, out of all of them, has the highest potential chance to actually be passable, if not okay.
I'm just so glad it's not Taika.
Oh God,
I agree. Nate, what'd you think about the Ahsoka trailer?
Oh, I don't care. Like, I honestly, I could not care less. Like, I don't feel any tension, and there's no suspense. There's no, because we know where it goes, we know where it leads. So there's elements where they're like, oh, it's the heir to the Empire, and I'm like, yes, but Maggot Palpatine comes back, so we know where the Empire goes again. We know where that actually goes. So I don't care about that, and a lot of it seemed very rip-offy. So they did the underworld spin at the start. Like it all seems like the music. Did like the music, and the VFX looked good. A bit more serious in tone, stepping away from Mandalorian, which is good. You know, that sort of tone that they've been, you know, pushing out in season 3. You know, massively regurgitated child crap. But this, I'm just not interested. Like Ahsoka, the thing about it is it might drop, and I might be like, oh, this is interesting. You know, I could get into this. But from a peripheral perspective, it's a whole lot of meh.
Do you think the Pedro Pascal walking off the set rumors and he's pissed and Favreau's mad at him, and do you buy that?
No, they came from Grace Randolph. No, notorious bullshitter. She couldn't organize a shit in a toilet, so no, I don't. I literally
what a phrase.
So, let me bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. He is here. Oh, he is here, and he is going to be. See, I told you. Here he is. Take it away.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I want you to. I want you to. This is your day, son.
No. Well, I mean, I wasn't talking to you specifically. I was like, I told y'all, the audience. You know, it's like, look, we had this conversation with Pro, and we had gotten news from a source that we have come to trust implicitly, and it is what it is. I mean,
they didn't announce Grogu's in it, but Grogu's in it.
Grogu's going to be in it. That they've announced the vehicle that's going to happen in, and when you start talking with certain partners years in advance, because that's the lead time that you need to create certain ancillary products that would go along with such a movie, that's the only way that kind of news gets out to people in those positions. So it's kind of like if they tell you that this is what we're hearing, well, it's because it's being discussed at the highest levels.
For his very first time, I think this is his first time on an EBN live stream. WDW Pro in the house.
It's real, all of it.
Yep.
Welcome, folks, to Stargirls.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm laughing out loud. Yes, they're handling that as if those are 2,000-year-old artifacts.
Hey, congratulations to you, my friend. This is a great day for you.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it's a great day for fans. I know people don't know that yet, and you guys may have covered this. I've only got a few minutes before I have to hop over to Midnight's Edge. I actually agreed to be on their show weeks and weeks ago, but it's a great day for fans because the Mario movie is going to do fantastic. They've now pushed it up to $150 million for the weekend, the 5-day. And so that means it'll be the biggest movie ever for Illumination. And then simultaneous, we're watching the last gasp of Star Wars because this is the chance we've all been waiting for. A Rey trilogy? Folks, there's no Luke to hold this thing up. There's no Princess Leia to hold it up. There's literally nothing drawing us to go see the movie. And that means we are free to stay at home and watch it explode. So,
yeah.
Me and
Coach will do the dirty work and go watch the movie and report back.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it.
After
Lauren, just so I can watch his face.
After we pay for another non-Disney movie and then sneak into the Rey movie.
The second time he has ever been on our channel, ladies and gentlemen, and it has been a long, long time coming. Welcome. He is laughing. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased. Drop 3PO.
What's up, my boy?
Oh, boy. What a day.
Weren't we just laughing about this a couple days ago or something?
I have some breaking news.
I started drinking early.
That's the breaking news.
No, I have you're going to hear it first time here. My friend that works at the Galactic Star Cruiser says, look for the Galactic Star Cruiser N/2 in the Rey trilogy.
I'm not surprised.
Not at all.
Not surprised.
I said, you better be fooling, man. I was like, you know what? I hope you're not fooling. Wait, everybody's got a hat on. I got to wear a hat.
Well, I want to be clear. So you said Rey trilogy. We got 3 movies announced, but it's not a trilogy. They're 3 totally separate movies. So you're still hearing that there is the Rey movie is going to turn into 3?
Yeah.
Okay, because they've only announced the one so far. That's why I was asking.
Here's the problem.
The other two movies
though.
they announced were different eras.
But how many times have we seen them announce movies and never happens?
Oh,
It gets fired, gets put back, announce again, then it gets taken back, then it gets pushed back, and then it's like maybe, and then things change and all that stuff.
Yep.
Did you see the video of like Kathleen Kennedy walking on the stage?
Oh, yeah.
Like no one clapping.
Yeah.
We clipped it, and or one of our people in chat clipped it and sent it to us, and we replayed it several times.
She got sandwiched in between the wild claps, like everybody loving Gilroy and Diego, but
I
she
am
got
laughing
nothing.
in Gina Carano. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
put the goat noise over it, Coach.
Yeah, exactly.
They should be printing money right now.
Yeah.
But they're ideologically driven, Jay. That's the thing.
Yeah,
They're
that's what I'm saying. It's like they should be
they're not
printing
logically.
money.
They're not logically driven. They don't have people like Valiant or Mike telling them the numbers and saying, "Hey, man, listen to the fans. Like this stuff hit." They're saying, "No, we need to make this work. We need to throw more money at it." They're in these positive feedback loops at these companies where everything's being driven by the HR departments. And you guys who work in corporate, I've dealt with this. The power of the DEI and the power of the HR departments giving notes and telling them exactly what no, you can't do that. We need to do this. Mm-hmm. And they follow it, and they're in line with it. It's their ideology, and they're just going to burn it into the ground.
Well, Disney's the only one that seems to have
so many fails.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me jump in, and I want to add something to that because he's on point. And one of the things that a lot of people who watch this stuff and cover this stuff, none of the people I'm sure on this stream fall into this category of what I'm about to say. But a lot of people are like, well, they've got to focus on making money, and making money's got to be important at some point. No, that's not true anymore. That used to be true, but they are now ideologically driven, as John was talking about, and they're ideologically driven, and they're now financially supported by large investment firms that put cash into the stock purchase of these companies that props up their stock value. And making money for them is about stock options, about stock price, and about having investors that are from these big firms put money in. If it mattered, then a guy like Ike Perlmutter's approach is different. He's like, I'm going to build this business. It needs to make money, and I'm going to make money in the business. And if my stock goes up, it's going to be worth something. That's not what all these morons like John's talking about give a shit about, because they're ideologically driven, and they are subsidized and financially supported, frankly, by these firms. And where do these firms get their money? All of you out there on planet Earth and in the United States specifically that have retirement accounts, investment accounts, and all of your 401ks.
Yeah. And real quick, guys, we got another guest, Mr. Ron Ken himself.
Oh,
boy,
man, this is a powerhouse stream in here.
Wow.
Well, I brought you guys a new logo for Ray's trilogy. Actually, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yep.
All right, let me get the fade on here, and we'll do it slowly. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to the new logo of Ray's Jedi Order.
The new Sheep Public.
With the purple hair.
And the handle hilt is a special shape if you get it.
Yeah, we don't want to
Oh my God, it's
attention.
a maxi pad.
Oh my gosh.
And demonetized.
Boom, canceled.
No, not going to be canceled. I'm sorry.
It's the wrong logo, though. It's the new Jedi Order, right?
Yeah.
The thing that Luke created, in old Star Wars, actual Star Wars, the new Jedi Order, that's Rey's thing. That's Rey's deal. She's the one that gets to do that where Luke Skywalker failed. They can't stop shitting on the corpse of Luke Skywalker.
But she has no training.
Hey, guys, this is Disney Star Wars. This always was going to be what Disney Star Wars was. Rey ain't going nowhere. And we get more Daisy Ridley, baby. Are you guys excited for Star Wars after today?
Yeah.
Have you seen Daisy Ridley?
The funny thing is, me and Coach were on the side of, hey, World Between Worlds, it could happen. The path is there for them to do it. All the rumors, and it was literally a blind hope, that we had. And you know, the whole time Ryan's over there, it's not happening. And I was like, it's a possibility though. And then we finally came to terms like, okay, yeah, it's not happening.
The best part of our entire stream today, we got up and started streaming at 7.
Is this the Heir to the Empire part? Fuck this part, dude. If you're gonna
No. This is not it. This is not it. But this
Can
part
I swear
right
on
here.
this channel? Hold on.
Sure.
Well, you just did, so
we won't hit you with the no. Mr. H was here earlier, so you're good.
He's already saying pussy and fuck and all that.
At this part right here, Nick goes, "You will not retcon the sequel trilogy."
The Guardians of the sequels.
No.
Yeah, George Clooney is not gonna let this happen. All right.
Yeah.
Lightsaber Lake's orange.
So it is very. Listen, I know there's a lot of men on this panel, but doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of men in Disney Star Wars going forward.
Not at all. We got Ahsoka today. We got Rey today. We got Acolyte today. Which
And
is
even in the
all
trailers, there's nothing but
female-based.
women.
Yeah, and even the James Mangold. I don't know if you guys have talked about this. The James Mangold movie, Dawn of the Jedi. They are just raping and pillaging Star Wars Expanded Universe anywhere they can. That takes place 20,000 years before. There's a book called Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void. That's a garbage book, but it is part of the Expanded Universe. It was written before Disney took over. That takes place 20,000 years before. That features a female character as the lead. So if they're trying to like adapt that or steal from that, we should stop saying adapt. We should start say stealing. That's what they're doing from these stories. But that's also a female character.
And with that, Bo,
There
Paul
he
Luke
is.
Innocent
There he
is
is.
here.
Hey,
What is going on, brother?
Oh, you sound good.
I just got a press release here, official Star Wars news. Can I read it to you guys? You
Yeah,
guys ready?
yeah.
Star Wars theme park to rename. What is it? The Galaxy of Tomorrow, wherever it's called, Galaxy's Edge, to the Lizzo Launch Bay facility.
Lizzo Launch Bay. There's not enough rocket fuel in the world to get that thing going.
There you go.
Yeah. Real quick, we got somebody else joining us in this long 6.5 hour live stream we've been doing. Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett himself is in the house. Oh,
What's going on?
What is up, buddy? How's it going?
What a wild day this has been.
Oh man, yeah, we had a full panel earlier with all the breaking news, and it has been insane. We were actually about to. Have you seen the Indiana Jones trailer yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Paulie has not seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Yep, and we're gonna play it real quick. This is officially released, so we can actually play this. I'll pause it for copyright, but this is it. Thoughts, Paulie?
And you know, R&B knows I really try to be positive with everything I watch. I'm not a hate rage channel, guys.
Yeah.
That's not me. It's just what I'm just seeing is the devolving of if that's the right word, of storytelling and other things taking precedence. That's all. Whether it's female characters at the expense of male characters and making males or in this case Indy's legacy, smearing it, shaming it, that's just in vogue right now. To the times, right, in the 60s, and you know revolution, and the whole world's changed. Indiana doesn't recognize it.
I am more excited about when he shows up on our channel than anything Celebration gave us.
Well, come on. Oh, that's so nice of you.
I'm telling you.
Well, guy, I've been such a fan of your guys' for a long time. Look, I have so many thoughts. First of all, with this trailer, like as Paulie said, I'm a huge James Mangold fan, and I trust in him to deliver a great movie. But I have to say, the one thing that strikes me about, and I say this about the entirety of Lucasfilm's output now. One of the things about Raiders of the Lost Ark, I'll tell you when I first saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, it was when it was coming out in 81, summer of 81, it was very odd because no one knew anything about it. And it was called Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I'm like, does that mean Noah's Ark? And when the trailers came out, if you look at the first trailer for Raiders, it doesn't really convey what the movie is. And they used to have public sneaks, like you'd go see one movie and you could stay and see a movie that was coming out in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And in 81, the first time I saw Raiders, it was a public sneak after Excalibur. And I'd seen Excalibur once and I didn't know if I liked it. I love it now. But at the time, so a lot of my friends were kind of on the fence about Excalibur. And so we were 14, maybe, and 13, 14, 7th, 8th grade. And we all went to see Excalibur, and then we watched Raiders. And one of the things about Raiders of the Lost Ark that it's hard to remember this, but if you remember the opening of Raiders, you see the Paramount logo, the mountain, South America, 1936. And then you see them going through almost silhouetted, going through the South American jungle. And you hear John Williams' great kind of mysterious score. And there's that whole opening scene, and then one of the guys turns on them, and Indiana Jones is introduced using his bullwhip, taking the gun out of the guy's hand, and he walks into the sunlight that's coming through the canopy of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a realism to it. Like you knew that, oh, okay, they're in a real jungle. This real sunlight. It was beautifully photographed. And even when you go into the sets, there was an Indiana Jones look to those first three movies that I think was part of the visual appeal of the franchise. And as much as I love James Mangold, this movie doesn't have that look. Everything in it, to me, looks artificial. There's nothing like that ticker tape parade. I'm like, they're not on the streets in New York. They're on a sound stage. And I look at this stuff and I'm like, one of the things that's irksome to me, and I'm a big fan of technology and movie making. I can still go back and look at Ray Harryhausen doing the skeleton battle in Jason the Argonauts. That's all stop motion. And I can still love it. But nowadays, with all of this Lucasfilm output, if you go back and you look at Star Wars, when you get on the Death Star, and there are matte paintings to extend the sets and everything, but you're on sets, and when you're in the hangar deck where the Millennium Falcon is, it's impressive. You're at Pinewood Studios and you're looking at this stuff going, they really built this. There's a full-scale Millennium Falcon in a bay. When Luke turns and sees Ben Kenobi and Vader fighting across a distance, that's a real distance. That's a real distance on a set.
They have interactive sets they can interact with.
And, and all nowadays, I don't believe any of this stuff.
No.
And as much as I want to, I think Harrison Ford looks great. It's fine. I have no problem with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. The reason she's a very talented writer. Fleabag is a great show. She's great. But just this weird. I mean, Indiana Jones comes out of it. I'll give you an example. There's a Coen Brothers movie called Inside Llewyn Davis about a folk singer in the 60s. The way it's shot, the cinematography, it's muted colors, but you believe it. When you watch that film, there's no volume stages, there's no green screen, and I would have much preferred an Indiana Jones that has a naturalistic look. This weird, everything is orange, kind of has that orangey, coppery. There's no world that looks like that.
Yeah.
It's all movie world. And the thing about Raiders was movie world too, but you knew when they were shooting that movie, they were in real places. They went to those places. The original Star Wars shot the Lars farm in Tunisia. When you saw the twin setting suns of Tatooine, it was pictures of real suns, real sunsets combined together going down. So you're like, that's a real sunset. And it was composited into a real background. Now, and I understand the tools of cinema, but I think that we have reverted back to a time. I don't believe any of the stuff I'm watching anymore.
It's all very CGI.
And it's all, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And the thing about even watching the train sequence in this, there's this big, they're on the top of the train. I'm like, we saw a train in the beginning of Last Crusade. We saw River Phoenix. We saw people running on a real train.
Yep.
Where there was no matte paintings behind it. And
Mm-hmm.
so the Indiana Jones movies, there's an expectation. I have to say, I've always been a huge fan of Tom Cruise. And I think what he's done, he's the only person that is insisting on doing things for real. It's not to say there's not digital assist. That ramp he flies off on in the new Mission Impossible movie, I'm sure they will. No, they'll CG. It'll look like a rock face. But he really did the stunt, and we can tell. And I think what's unfortunate is the impact of these things on us. When you believe what you're watching psychologically in your brain, we all know what it's like to live in the real world. And by the time we got to the 80s, even though you're watching ILM effects, the ILM effects of the 80s, when the Ark of the Covenant opens and faces are melting and we're seeing the ghosts come out of it, we know that those are ILM effects. They don't look real. We know that they're within environments that were real. So when you're watching ghosts come out of the Ark of the Covenant, even though they're shooting on a set, you know that set's there. They've got real lights and real. So often now what we're watching is these environments are entirely digitally generated. I say this all the time. I don't have kids of my own. Elizabeth has kids. But if I had a son and I was introducing my son or daughter to Star Wars and they're 5 or 6 or 7, we're watching the movies, say we're watching them in order. How am I going to explain to my children at the end of Return of the Jedi, and we're going to sit down and watch The Force Awakens? My kids are like, oh my God, the Emperor's defeated, and now they can set up the New Republic, and I can't wait to see what Shangri-La they construct. What Princess Leia is president of the galaxy, and Han Solo a general, and Luke her brother now leading a new Jedi Order. I'm so excited. Dad, I can't wait to see episode 7. I can't wait to see where they're at. And then I have to explain to my kid why people are fucking dumb and why the people that made. And then I'm like, read Dark Empire or read Heir to the Empire, read any of this stuff where people actually thought about this more than they thought about. I mean, it's funny. Disney is not making the money that they want to be making from their streaming shows, from their movies. They want their movies to be good. The corporations at the corporate level, they don't know what makes good stories. They're corporations, the people that are Ivy League educated, master's degree business people, they don't know. They don't know what makes good stories. They can look
and executives.
Yeah, they can look at spreadsheets and be like, oh, well, they buy Star Wars and they're like Star Wars movies. So a Star Wars movie, I know it's hard to fathom this, but a Star Wars movie means you're creating a branded product that on a corporate spreadsheet sells. Star Wars movie, here's what it makes. So a corporation is perplexed when one Star Wars movie makes $2 billion and the other one makes $1 billion. Well, why is there a $1 billion disparity? The same guy directed them. Yeah. Well, we don't. The corporation doesn't have any way to go. Well, why is this one good and this one isn't, or why did this one make $2 billion and this one made $1 billion? They don't know, and there's nobody at the corporation that can tell you. They'll bring in analysts and figure that shit out. All they have to do is hire one 12-year-old kid going, that movie was awesome. That movie sucked.
Yeah. It's sort of like Big with Tom Hanks.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
He is a grown-up in that position, and everybody's like, oh, this guy gets it. You know?
What's cool about a building?
Yeah.
A building that turns into a robot?
And then they start going, well, the sheets show and the analytics and all that sort of stuff.
Nick, that is exactly, you just nailed, that's Hollywood in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's all big and they don't get it.
And that's their contempt for the YouTubers as well, because the YouTubers are the ones that are the fans and they're speaking directly with the fans. The fans are telling them what's wrong with these programs, but then the corporate executive, well, what the heck does some YouTuber know about? Come on.
Yeah, I counted 16 beans yesterday. It should be 16 beans tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why do we have 15 beans? Why do you think the talent's leaving? I mean, really though, because we hear all the time about, you know, all this talent leaving, and it's always a disagreement. That's kind of like the blanket term that they use. There was some kind of disagreement over creative differences. That's the one that they really love to plaster on there, creative differences. Do you got any insight as to what it might actually be, or is it really creative differences?
Well, I think partially it's creative differences. I think that, you know, I mean, uh-oh, am I still there? I would give all the credit in the world to Kathleen Kennedy for trying to hire Lord Miller, you know, to do Solo, and to maybe have Josh Trank come in. She had the right idea. The problem is, and here's what people don't understand about Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy is one of the great producers of the last 40 years. She worked with some of the greatest filmmakers that ever lived. But here's the thing. A great producer serves the vision of the director they're working with. So if Steven Spielberg says, I want to produce this and I need 50,000 extras or whatever, Kathleen Kennedy's like, okay, got it. Make sure you have what you need. But Kathleen Kennedy needs the filmmaker to be that visionary person. You know, she's expecting, when she hires people, she's expecting them to really know what they're doing. And she's there to get you what you need. So when they hired Lord and Miller to do Solo, she figured, yeah, these guys made 21, 22 Jump Street. She didn't understand that they're finding the story. They're making comedies where people are improvising and they're doing multiple takes and all this. And that's not how you make a Star Wars movie, you know? And I think that people they blame Kathleen Kennedy for a lot of these things. What happens is, though, that Kathleen Kennedy has worked with the best of the best. If you look at her career, producing movies like Seabiscuit or Who Framed Roger Rabbit or whatever, she's working with visionary people that know what they're doing. And as an executive, like, she doesn't particularly have any love for Star Wars. She expects the people that make Star Wars to be the visionaries. She's like, okay, I can give you the money, I can give you the facility, I can give you whatever you need. Now you need to go make something that's good. And she doesn't know Star Wars. She doesn't know what's good Star Wars or what's bad Star Wars. She leaves that up to the filmmakers. So I think that's the real disconnect. I think she gets a bad rap amongst us, when really what's happening is she needs a middle person. She needs somebody that really knows Star Wars. And I don't know who this would be, that can say whether, I mean, the fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett got made, I look at these things, I'm like, they're unconscionable. You can't explain them. I mean, you look at them and how, like, honestly, and it's not just my opinion. I think objectively, if you were to, I don't know, find the greatest story analyst in the world to take you through Obi-Wan Kenobi and compare it to previous Star Wars, in my mind, the only Star Wars movies that you should compare anything to are A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. That's it. That's if it's not Star Wars or Empire, even Jedi is compromised. Star Wars and Empire, everything should be compared. That's what Star Wars is, those two films. Everything should come out of those. And if they don't, you always got to look back. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a kids movie. They're like, let's put it's Disney, let's put young Princess Leia in it. Who did that? I mean, the story of a Ronin, a masterless samurai who's gone into the desert, who's taken him into, look to Kurosawa, do what George Lucas did. When George Lucas was making Star Wars, he looked to Seven Samurai, to Hidden Fortress. He looked to these movies. Why aren't people doing that? Why aren't the creators of Star Wars? I've not heard one modern creator of Star Wars go back and say, I was watching Ron, or I was watching a Kagamusha, which Coppola and Lucas produced. No one ever says that anymore. They're only looking at Star Wars. The Star Wars, the people that are making Star Wars should not be looking at Star Wars. They should be looking at Kurosawa's movies. They should be looking at Francois Truffaut movies. They should be looking at Sahaji Ray movies, the Apu trilogy. They don't know what to do. George Lucas, you know what he didn't do when he was making Star Wars? Look at other Star Wars movies, because there wasn't one. He looked at other things.
So the only good stuff that sells is the
Echo 3 to Echo 7. Honor, buddy.
Echo Station 3T8. Spotted Imperial Water.
original trilogy stuff.
Hot Toys figures sell, and the rest of the stuff,
Yeah.
no one, kids aren't buying Star Wars figures anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, my Rose Tico figure is near and dear to me, but that's just me. It gives me no pleasure to not like things.
Yeah.
I don't like. I mean, I'm surrounded by Star Trek and Star Wars books and memorabilia and action figures, and I think Terry Matalas should absolutely create a Star Wars show for Disney Plus.
Yeah,
I think he would knock it out of the park.
I would feel at this point in time, I would feel very comfortable with that decision if Lucasfilm did that. Have you talked to him behind the scenes? Is that something he'd be interested in tackling?
Oh, I think it's funny. He said on one of my streams, I had him and Todd Stashwick on, and Terry said to Todd, he said, I can't get you a Star War, but I can get you a captain's chair. And that's so. But I think that perhaps he could.
And with that, we're gonna let R&B lead us out.
Echo Base Network, Coach Nick, I love you guys. You've always supported me. You've done great. You've made documentaries. You've done amazing content. You've set the bar as far as YouTube is concerned, and I love you.